Well, hello internets, here we are. It's 2023. If you're watching this, then I have survived. It's been quite the ride. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So, here we go. Well, by now, my vlogs from 2022 have worked their way on through. My camping vlogs, my summer vacation fail kinda rough vlogs, as well as the vlogs that I had shot in the fall of 2022. Not 100% sure how many of those are going to be able to be used, because things got a little bit chaotic, a little bit rough in the fall. And some of that footage I'm going to probably end up scrapping because it doesn't fully reflect who I am, or how I truly feel, or even how I feel now. And to put that out there may portray things differently now than what they would have been if things were still current as in the fall of 2022. I had a lot of things planned for the fall. The rebuild of the Jayco was the big thing. However, everything snowballed. The expenses of the summer trying to do a driving holiday when gas is $2 a liter, you can tell by the footage when I pulled into gas stations how much the price of fuel is. You buy cheap fuel that is lower than the $2 a liter, then you start having to clean the mass airflow sensor and repairs to the truck, because it's not meant to drive, not meant to use the low grade fuel. So then that costs you a couple $1,000s, and then you try saving money other places, then that ends up biting you in the end. So sometimes it's best to just shut down and walk away before you put something out there that is not you, that you might regret at a later date. I was having a rough time in the fall. I was feeling overwhelmed, had a lot of things going on, had a lot of internal struggles. I internalized a lot of pressure and feelings, and in the fall of the year they came to a boiling point. I spent some time in the hospital in a little locked room with a bunch of cameras watching me, and I don't know, I guess they didn't deem me any danger to others, so they set me loose in the world. And after that I reflected on things and gave forgiveness to my past and people in my past that have caused a lot of stuff. Tried to reach out to those of my past, not to rekindle anything by far, but to give them closure too. So hopefully the chaotic life they're living, they can forgive themselves and move on. I'll never forget what these people or person has done to us, to our family, because forgetting just means you're going to repeat it all over again, erasing the past because of however offensive it is or brutal or mean it is, just because it makes one or two people or a group of riled up people feel bad, doesn't do any good for people as a whole. But holding on to bitterness for decades, for the rest of your life, only serves to hurt you or hurt yourself, because you're holding on to the bitterness and the hurt that this person or these people caused you and your family. The winter time, I had planned a bunch of stuff, obviously editing up my footage from 2020, 2021, 2022, all the epic summer footage and such. I had planned a few trips to the city as finances permitted. However, none of that happened. I completely shut down in the fall, like completely. I would parachute into a grocery store and buy, $30-$40 in food now and again, just to get through another couple of days, keeping my dog walked, keeping up on my personal necessities, sort of, kinda, whenever I needed to, and didn't have any creativeness this winter. My paintings that I normally do in the winter never happened. My video editing that I normally do in the winter never happened, and it was just a lot of stuff came together at once, where you have to sometimes deal with things before you can move on. You gotta sometimes let go of things before you can move on. You can't keep things internalized, bottled up, because eventually they find their own way out and can cause a lot bigger problem than what you already have. I believe by now you guys, by now you will have seen the big video where I announced the name change and the direction the channel's going, kind of. And I want to just kind of expand on that a bit. At one time, I viewed my channel as entertainment, meaning that I would do things specifically only for videos. Buying things not because I needed the tool or wanted the item, buying it just because it'll make an unboxing video, buying it because there are no videos of it on the internet, doing things to just because I can do them for content, for the entertainment. And since my life has changed, it's more of a journey than entertainment. So that's why my channel name has changed to Maxwell's Life Journey, meaning the journey of my life. Starting out there, filming with my what's it called, Flip Ultra Mini, behind the stack of pallets at the Big Orange hardware store. Moving to the delivery driving aspect, filming, sitting in the delivery vehicle, filming my life's journey, sort of going through WCB and all the runaround from there when things became even more chaotic and confusing. I know I didn't elaborate on all the stuff that's happened from 2018 onward. But I have took you guys along, like the big 2019 epic vacation. That vacation was in the works, in the background for many years. And it was originally meant to include somebody else with me. But in the end, they were no longer here. So I went there by myself, because might as well enjoy the vacation that I had I had planned and set out. You know, the world went crazy in 2020 and 2021, so stayed fairly close to home, some camping trips. The isolation and even smaller world that I was allowed to explore than I already have during all that became a lot smaller, and the closed in feeling became a lot more intense and a lot more unbearable. And you know, coming to the reaching out several times, 2020, 2021, 2022-ish, online, because where else are you supposed to meet anybody? You know, you can't go to a grocery store and strike up a conversation because suddenly you're weird. And finding always seemed to attract the same type of people, those messed up people that are searching for themselves, trying to find validation out there by finding somebody else to look after them, look after their kids, or whatever they can get for the person over the next 2 or 3 months. And I always seem to find those people, and having a hard time myself with the realizing, yeah, I'm no I'm no 5-star restaurant, but at the same time I'm not the dumpster behind McDonald's either, right? And some of these people, I was willing to accept them for their huge flaws, you know, their divorces, their children, their huge problems or whatever it is, and but yet they can't accept me for me being who I am. And maybe it's because I couldn't be fooled by their games, the very same games that they played over and over again since they were like 14 years old, and now they're 50-some playing the same games. And I unplugged everything, deleted all those apps, got away from all those weird people, and other than missing a person to share some of those moments with, my life is a lot better. Realizing that my life worth doesn't need to be validated by having fake people around me. Realizing that I don't need to buy a new vehicle just to feel good about myself. I know my 5-year-old truck, but I know the 5-year-old truck is good enough, which is plenty. It's plenty good enough. Even if the truck was 20 years old, it would still be good enough. Realizing that sometimes life doesn't happen the way you want it to happen. In the fall, I had big plans. I wanted the Jayco at least torn apart in the fall, so I knew what I was up against. Realizing how I felt, how I was doing financially, knowing that I couldn't afford to fix the Jayco, knowing that physically I wasn't doing good, especially after the big summer road trip and the veterinary bills from the dog, and having to euthanize my 16-year-old cat after all those years. And well, wasn't my 16-year-old cat, but she was abandoned, so essentially became mine. And dealing with still the fallout from 2018, some of that debt, some of that chaos, some of those letters and phone calls which have stopped, but they're always there in your mind. You know, next time the phone rings, you're looking at it, and when it's a weird number, you're wondering, you know, is it another one of those bloodsuckers wanting to go for round 4? You check your bank account to see if it's frozen, and it's not, so you know that, you know, they haven't escalated anything further, so that's good. Living on edge is not good. Living with all that pressure is not good. And having problems with insomnia where I wouldn't sleep for the better part of a week and a half is not good. And the doctors want to give you pills, and I don't want to take pills. I want to live my life, but at the same time, if you're a certain stage erect, sometimes you need to reach out for help to get back to where you need to be. Living with chronic pain and the problems that I live with, trying to find a doctor around here that understands, lack of a better word or better terms, the doctors around here are just, a couple of decades away from still using leeches for medical treatment. That's what it feels like. I almost need to move to Vancouver or move to Toronto where the doctors are familiar with this and know how to treat it properly, or at least know how to the better types of medication, because being a guinea pig for these doctors here just causes more trouble in my life, and trying to go at it alone without any medication causes ripple effect where you can't sleep and you're sore, you're grumpy, you can't eat, and then you get sick, and then there's trouble, and stressing out about online dating or keeping up with social media, your sites you've got you manage, or making videos for YouTube sometimes becomes too much for a person to bear, and they just need to step away. So that's what I did all winter. I unplugged, I stepped away, I consumed a lot of content between YouTube and Netflix. That was my two biggest things. Like I said, I had zero creativity, zero anything coming out to paint. And I just focused on my world, myself, getting things squared away and back to normal, new normal, maybe late 2021, early 2022. I am feeling better now than I was in the spring of 2022. This summer I would like to get out and start walking. I have been advised not to go to a gym and start running on a treadmill or lifting weights, because that could cause more issues, but start walking, monitoring what a person eats. With the price of groceries the way they are, a person tends to reach for the canned, cheap, processed, packaged stuff, which is not a good thing, can cause more issues, but yet not being afford to buy the better cuts of stuff. A nice piece of steak, a nice piece of red meat I'd love to have, but $40-50 for a good cut, or like $14 for one that is really, really fatty. I know you can probably trim off some of that fat, and I have. But when I get cravings, sometimes you just got to do it, right? Sometimes you need to treat yourself to something that makes you feel good, whether it's buying new shirts, whether it's hanging up pictures to make your environment better, whether it's start sorting through boxes that have been sealed since 2018, getting rid of clutter, getting rid of garbage, putting stuff for sale to either sell or toss, just because, again, if you haven't used it in 6 months, then do you really need it? GoPro mounts, camera lights, old camera gear, editing software, stuff like that were part of my old life that I've hung on to. Yeah, okay, fine. Maybe I will buy a GoPro again one day. But we'll deal with that when they go. When that time comes, mounts are on Amazon, eBay. You can buy them from China that work the same kind of sort of No point in hoarding on to stuff until you're buried in trash. Like I mentioned there, keeping a positive outlook and influences of your friends or people close to you. And if you can't find any friends that challenge your intellect, that help build you up, then it's best to go alone. Best to go alone. Your self-worth doesn't reflect on whether you've got a bunch of people hanging around you or not. You gotta take care of your own, and sometimes you just need to shut down and step back. Crawl in your little cave for a few months and then come back out a better person at the other side. Looking forward to the future, looking forwards to new adventures and new things. I have no idea what 2023 is going to hold. My focus is on the Jayco. I want to camp, but I need something to camp in. I can't put a truck box camper in the back of the truck because of the wonderful 5-foot box. That's my only regret with that truck. I can't afford to go out there and buy another $2,000-$3,000 or so RV, not now. And what better way to do is to fix something you already own and get 3, 4, 5 more years out of it. Last fall anyway, the damage to the Jayco was not catastrophic from what I could tell. But it's going to require a couple months and maybe $1,000 or $1,500 worth of material or work. I have no idea if I'm going to put it back to factory spec or if I'm going to give it my own twist with a bunk bed or a couple of beds and deleting the bathroom and a couple of cupboards, and who knows, maybe I'll cut a hole in it and use it to park a quad in the back of it, or a golf cart or something. Who knows, right? We'll have to see how the summer unfolds. Right now I have no plans for camping because my money is going to fixing the Jayco. Maybe if I got a tank of fuel and the Jayco is fixed, maybe I can do a couple of parking lot camps in a town that's an hour away. We'll have to see how things go, but keep going one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, trying to keep the content going, editing up some of the old stuff, like I said, from 2020, 2021, and away we roll. I thank everybody for joining me on these adventures, staying around for this breakaway, watching my older content, leaving the comments and stuff like that. Once again, check out the social media pages, check out the Amazon wish list in the bottom, check out, I haven't quite figured out the YouTube memberships yet, but I was thinking about activating them. And I was considering, as in my other video I put out about Patreon, things like that, to bring some exclusive content for people out there that don't want to wait 6 months for the summer videos. They want to watch them in kind of real time. So we'll have to see how the future holds, and it is what it is. Thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.